Hello, I'm Richard Heenan, and this is my Week 6.1 graded assignment case study for EDU 503 Sports Law. This case study will examine the case of Berkey v. Marshall County Board of Education, known as the Board, from 1981, which is centered around employment law. The facts from this case, as well as the arguments of the plaintiff, the defendants, the findings of this case, and the implications of the case on athletics activities administrators will be reported, based upon information provided in the Pittman, Spangler, and Young text, Case Studies in Sport Law. Miss Linda Berkey had been employed by the Marshall County Board of Education since July 1, 1970, and after a 3-year probationary period, she received tenure within the Marshall County School District beginning in the 1973-74 school year. Prior to her employment, Berkey had received her bachelor's degree from Liberty State College, where she was a 4-sport athlete, and by 1976, she received her master's degree in physical education from West Virginia University, plus 15 extra graduate hours beyond the master's degree. From 1971 until 1976, when she was transferred to Washington Lands Elementary School within the Marshall County School District, Berkey coached the girls' basketball team at Moundsville Junior High School. Prior to the 1971-72 school year, no interscholastic sports program existed for girls at the junior high level within the district, and during the 71-72 school year, Miss Berkey was tasked with forming an interscholastic girls' basketball team at the Moundsville Junior High School. Her teams amassed an overall record of 31 wins, 4 losses, and 1 forfeited game, with Berkey at the helm, and she was even recognized by the Moundsville City Council for winning the 1975 county championship. The district policies for coaching stated that coaches of junior high girls' interscholastic activities were to receive exactly 1/2 of the pay that coaches of boys' teams did. Because of this, Miss Berkey, along with 2 other female physical education teachers at the Moundsville Junior High, wrote a letter to one of the defendants, Superintendent Donald A. Haskins, concerning these pay discrepancies on September 11, 1973. Haskins subsequently ignored their letter, and on April 11, 1974, Berkey and Miss Linda Campbell filed a grievance with the defendant board, which was processed and ultimately denied by a unanimous decision of the board on June 28, 1974. Linda then filed 2 separate charges with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, or EEOC, and the West Virginia Human Rights Commission. The defendants refused to rectify any of their illegal conduct, and on January 16, 1978, the Department of Justice issued to Linda Berkey a right to sue letter. She then filed a 3rd charge with the EEOC alleging that the defendants had retaliated against her for her previous 2 charges by denying her a teaching and coaching position at their high school. She then filed a complaint with the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare, alleging that the defendants were illegally discriminating against women coaches and girl students on the basis of their sex. The Department of Health, Education, and Welfare issued finding that the district's operation of girls' athletics violated the rights of both female coaches and girl students under Title IX, and the defendants still did not change any of their policies found to be in violation. Looking at the arguments of the plaintiff, Miss Linda Berkey, as well as the argument of the defendant Marshall County Board of Education, Miss Berkey argued that the defendant Board of Education had retaliated against her for her previously filed charges against them. She stated that she was not only qualified to coach boys basketball and track, but that she did indeed teach these fundamentals to both boys and girls in her physical education classes. She also argued that she was more qualified than most of the other male coaches who had worked for the district. Berkey also argued that she was transferred and removed from her coaching position at the junior high school level as retaliation for previously filed charges, and that her pay for coaching was discrimination on the basis of her sex. The defendants claimed that they had never recommended and had never hired, transferred, or otherwise assigned a female teacher to coach boys' sports. They had maintained and continued to maintain an unwritten policy that female teachers cannot coach boys' sports. The defendant Robert R. Eaton, assistant superintendent, cited economy measures as a reason for Berkey's transfer, as well as personality conflict between Miss Berkey and the defendant Lydon. The findings of the case were that the defendant's policy regarding pay of female coaches constituted illegal discrimination against Linda Berkey on the basis of her sex and operated to deny her the rights accorded to her by Title VII, 42 U.S.C. Section 1983, and the Equal Pay Act, 29 U.S.C. Section 206 D1. The refusal to pay Berkey equal to male coaches constituted an unlawful employment practice under Title VII and 42 U.S.C. Section 1983. The findings also stated that the defendant's retaliation against Berkey for filing a charge of sex discrimination with the EEOC violated rights accorded to her by Title VII and 42 U.S.C. Section 1983. The defendant's policy of restricting coaching positions for boys' sports to male teachers constitutes and has constituted illegal discrimination on the basis of sex and has operated to deny the rights accorded to Ms. Berkey by Title VII and 42 U.S.C. Section 1983. The defendant's refusal to hire Ms. Berkey to coach boys' sports solely on the basis of her sex also constitutes an unlawful employment practice under Title VII and 42 U.S.C. Section 1983. The implications for athletic directors from this case are that athletic administrators have to hire coaches on the basis of their credentials rather than their sex. No sport can be reserved solely to be coached by either male or female because of social convention, and athletic directors are responsible for creating a salary schedule for coaches that compensates like positions the same amount. This concludes my Week 6.1 case study. Thank you for listening.